At first glance, the gospel today seems difficult to understand. But this, as I have said in the introduction, the gospel today is one of the most interesting passages in the Gospel of St. Luke. Why did I say so? Because the gospel today gives us some very surprising information about the Pharisees. We have a stereotype of a Pharisee. As far as we know, Pharisees are bad people. Pharisees are insincere. Pharisees are phony. Pharisees are sarcastic. Pharisees are arrogant. Pharisees are hypocritical. But the gospel reading for today gives us the surprising information that not all the Pharisees were hostile to Jesus. Some Pharisees, in fact, were actually warning Jesus that he was in danger, and they were advising Jesus to go somewhere else and seek safety. My dear brothers and sisters, right away, we have a very beautiful and meaningful lesson that we can learn from this incident in the life of Jesus. It is very easy to compartmentalize people. It is very easy to stereotype people that, for example, these people are like this, those people are like that. We brand people. We categorize them. We put them in compartments only to realize that everybody is flawed. Everybody needs the redemption of God. We all have good points and bad points. And you notice that the Gospels give us a one-sided picture of the Pharisees. The Jews themselves knew very well that there were good and there were bad Pharisees. As a matter of fact, the Pharisees were divided into 7 different classes. What are the 7 different classes of Pharisees? Number 1, the so-called shoulder Pharisees. Why are they called shoulder Pharisees? Because they wore their good deeds on their shoulders, and they performed their good deeds in order to be seen by other people. These are the shoulder Pharisees. Number 2, the wait a little Pharisees. They could always find a good excuse for putting off or postponing a good deed until tomorrow. In other words, the wait a little Pharisees are fond of procrastination. They always postpone. They never do what can be done today. Instead, they postpone it until tomorrow. The third kind of Pharisees, the bruised or the bleeding Pharisees. No Jewish rabbi could be seen talking to any woman on the street, not even his wife, not even his mother, not even his sister. But some Pharisees went further. They would not even look at a woman on the street. They even shut their eyes to avoid seeing a woman. Therefore, they knocked into walls and houses, and in the process, they hurt themselves, they bruised themselves, and then exhibited their bruises as special badges of extraordinary piety. They are the bruised or the bleeding Pharisees. Number 4, the humpback Pharisees. Why are they called humpback Pharisees? Because they walk, bend, double in a false humility. Number 5, the ever-reckoning Pharisees. They were ever reckoning up their good deed and, as it were, striking a balance sheet of profit and loss with God. Number 6, the timid or the fearing Pharisees. They went ever in fear of the wrath of God. Their concept of God is a policeman God, a wrathful God. They were not helped but haunted by their relationship with God. And finally, we have the God-loving Pharisees. They were imitators of Abraham. They lived in faith, and they also lived in charity. My dear brothers and sisters, somebody said, there may have been 6 bad Pharisees for every good one. But the gospel reading today shows that even among the Pharisees, there were those who admired Jesus. There were those who respected Jesus. These were the Pharisees who warned the Lord in today's gospel regarding a threat on his life. In other words, the lesson for us is, let us not easily judge other people. Let us not compartmentalize them. Let us not stereotype any kind of people.